So today we're going to read After the Fall. It's a really beautiful story about overcoming your fears. Before we dive into the story, I want to go over a little bit of vocabulary for you. Accident. Sometimes we relate accidents to cars. This is when something happens and it's not on purpose, but it's just a little incident that occurs that causes someone to either get hurt or be sad or decided. Decided means that you have made a decision, that you have made a choice, and it's pretty much that you are sure about what it is that you are wanting to do. Nervous. I know you guys are familiar with this. I am as well, but it's basically when you are like jumpy, a little bit shy or fearful. Terrified, okay? This means the same thing as being afraid or scared, you're unsure, or just you are really, really scared. Grand. Grand means really large, okay? It's another word for big. So sometimes instead of using big, we can say large or we can say grand. So this story is about overcoming your fears. And it's also about trying and doing things while you're afraid. Sometimes we are afraid and we're scared and we're nervous and we're not too sure about how things will turn out. But this is a really beautiful story, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can find yourself somewhere in this story. And I want you to be thinking about, as we're going through the pages, to think about if there was ever a time when you were afraid to do something, and then what happened? Like, did you continue? Did you go back to try it again? And I really just want you to take this journey with me so that we can see what happens and how he overcomes his fear. And it's actually called After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together again. Well, most of me. There was some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. Why do you think he's laying on the floor? How do you think he's feeling? Although he's put back together, it kind of feels like he's still broken. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. What can you tell about his facial expression? How do you think he's feeling right now? I walked past that wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. Do you remember what accident happened? Why do you think he doesn't want to get back on the wall? I was thinking that too. He's afraid he's probably going to fall again. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. What do you think he's looking at? What's in the sky? What's flying by? That's right, a paper airplane. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches. But day after day, I kept on trying and trying. It wasn't easy, but he kept trying and trying. That's called determination. Whenever you keep trying to do something over and over, even though you keep failing at it, determination and resilience, because you get back up again. Until I got it just right. How cool. Isn't his paper airplane really, really beautiful? My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Humpty Dumpty is missing something. He knows he's having a lot of fun. He loves watching his plane fly in the sky. But he's like, there's still something missing. Unfortunately, accidents happen. Dun, dun, dun! What do you think happened? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The look on his face says he's nervous and afraid, right? They always do. What happened? Where is his paper airplane going? Oh no, that's right. It's going over the wall. What is he gonna do? I almost walked away again. But then I thought about all that time that I spent working on my plane and all those other things that I really, really missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it, but I was terrified. Just climbing up that wall. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time. That's called pacing yourself. Okay? He's still moving. He knows he's afraid and he's scared, but he's determined. He said he's gonna get his airplane. Until I was no longer afraid. He made it. And this was the point where he conquered his fear. How do you think he's feeling? Look at those hands. Raised in the air. He's like, yeah! Woo! He's excited. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. He is on top of the wall and he's feeling amazing. But what do we notice? What's going on? That's right, he has cracks in his skin. After all, he is an egg. And pow! Out of the egg he came. Look at those beautiful wings. And I learned to fly. Wasn't that a beautiful story? He accomplished his fear. He conquered his fear. He stared fear right in the face. He looked at fear right in the face and he said, I'm gonna beat you. Now, what do you think would have happened had he not climbed that wall? Do you think he would have come out of his shell? I know, right? So now he can go on even more journeys. And now he can accomplish even more fears. He stood up. He did what was right. I'm excited. I want you to talk to your family about this story. And I want you to draw a picture of your favorite part of the story. And I want you to think, what is some of your fears? What is something that you're afraid to do? Do you think now, after listening to Humpty Dumpty, do you think that maybe you can go and try that? I think so too, and I think you'll do just great. Bye for now.